What's up, guys? This is episode 17 of It's Still Our City. Rest in Pieces. We got to sit down with Justin, one of the two owners of Rest in Pieces, located at 349 South Laurel Street, Richmond, Virginia, 23220. This one was awesome for us. I don't want to say a trigger warning, but it gets a little gruesome at some points, but it's educational nonetheless. Claire is watching the Commanders play. Stoked to have him come in. Excited to have this come out for spooky season. Happy Halloween, everyone. This is brought to you by RVA Magazine, and it is produced by Notterly. Yep, episode 17 of It's Still Our City. Motherfucking rest in pieces. Damn.
Man.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here with Justin from Rest in Pieces. How are you, my friend?
Doing great tonight, thank you.
Good. How was your Monday? You guys are open today, right?
Yeah, we were open today. Today was, I would say, a good Monday. Francine was found.
Yeah,
so
dude, holy shit.
That's the news of the day. Francine, pretty excited about that. So that made my Monday good. We had good vibes today. We had a ton of, store was super busy because we got all like the extra people who stayed an extra day from Anime Inc. So the store was just like slammed all day today.
Yeah, I was looking at your profile, like the Instagram account, just poking around at it earlier, and it's so many people just pose right in front of your shop, in front of that badass mural. You think I need this? Okay, yeah, so Rest in Pieces. So you like literally just walked right out of work and then came here?
Well, we closed at 5, so
Okay.
I went home, let my dog out, gave him some food, then I schmoozed on over here. But it's only like 12 minutes from my house. I live in Carytown.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. I
Yep.
was wondering if you were in that neighborhood or like doing like a throwback to what Bobby did where you were like above the shop.
I couldn't do that. Like I'm like kind of a workaholic, and I would just never stop working. Like I have to have separation. Even just like a 6-minute drive home is like, that's enough.
Yeah, you can sort of just,
Disconnect a little bit. Because otherwise, because if I had a day off and I was like upstairs and I hear the shop music and all of that going on, I would go,
what the fuck's going on? Yeah. I think that when Bobby first did that, I think he really, really liked it. And then I think at some point there was that transition where he's like, oh my God, I'm going insane. I gotta get out of here.
It's nice to be like close, but I can, if like I ever have to drop my car off at the shop or something like that, like I can walk home, I can take a fucking scooter home if I want to, which I kind of enjoy. And,
Do you cruise those things?
Not often.
I would die, dude.
But if given the opportunity, like it makes you feel like a kid. It's kind of fun.
I haven't tried it yet.
I don't trust myself.
You haven't tried it?
No.
You should.
They seem fast.
Yeah.
It seems way too fast.
They
And,
are. It's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
when was the last time one of you guys tried to stand on a skateboard? Like I am officially old. Like I can't even do that.
Well, I did the second run with skateboards with the boys like a few years back, where I was like, I've got the boys' boards, I got my own board, and I was working on my ollie.
Yeah.
So I got, my sons at that point were like 6 and 8.
Did you
starting to shred?
So they were into it for a second, and then they once they realized that ollies, it takes a while before you can get good at those. They're like,
a fall a day, a pro on the way, you fucking quitters. Were you actually able to like do like a moving rolling ollie?
Yeah, my ollie is in the best shape that it's ever been in my whole life.
Wow.
Which is like, it's not, I don't know how much that's saying, but I can ollie better right this second than I could when I was like a teenager.
If I even tried to do that, I would completely tear my groin in half and eat shit. There's no fucking way, dude.
We have a skateboard in the basement of the shop, and like me and another dude will always just like challenge each other to like do this, and like I could do a riding ollie, and I think that's it. That's where my skill level.
I mean, that's pretty much where I cap out too. Yep. Like I feel good if I can just go up a ramp and come, or like get a slight incline and come back down.
I could maybe do a 180.
Nice.
I bet I could do a 180.
Yeah. I got this Welcome Skateboards board. It's like a skateboard company, and they make these like giant like grandfather, like like the Cadillac of skateboards.
Like 8.25
so there's just
wide.
so much surface area for my feet.
That's sick.
It's pretty rad. Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
yeah. It's great. It's
like
a boat.
that old school shape board.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, we're looking at 2 skateboards, decks that are hanging on my wall that Barf Comics did. He gave me, I think I bought the Batman one when he did it,
Uh-huh.
Because if I remember correct, I can't remember why he did a random run, but I was like, that's awesome. That's like he used an actual like big ass stamp for that, which I found interesting. I don't know where the fuck you get those made, but yeah. And then the other one
That's sweet.
down below, he says that I won. I don't know if I buy this, but he had like a giveaway. And I've been buddies with him forever, and it was like comment like the last horror movie or something you watched, and I did. And then he's like, "Yo, you won." I'm like, "What the hell?" That's really easy.
I'm gonna
for
do
you.
this thing with Harrison needs a skateboard. Let me just make up a contest real quick.
It's really easy that you
Make
don't
a
have to
post,
go
make it
out of your
feel
way.
good.
Yeah, you win, buddy. Good job.
That would be really actually like psychologically manipulative if he set it up
You
like
need
that.
you need to follow up with him about that.
So okay, sorry man, we get way off the beaten path, but in a good way. When did you start Rest in Pieces, and who is because you have a business partner, right?
Yes.
Cool.
So we started Rest in Pieces in 2013 is when we were kind of like, it was kind of, there was mumblings about it. And then 2014 is when we started like actually like selling product and stuff. And then by 2015 we had
Brick and mortar.
the brick and mortar location.
Okay.
But it was pretty quick between basically like the summer of 2014 we like started, and then by May 2015 we had the first store.
Okay, what's your business partner's name?
Alaina Gearhart.
Okay.
Yep.
So how do you?
So she's the other owner of Rest.
How did you two? You guys were just buddies, and then you're just like, holy shit, I got this cool idea, and just bouncing similar ideas, and you're like, hey, we're actually onto something here.
Yeah, so I'll give her credit for that because she started kind of collecting like horns and skulls and little things, and then I would like buy her things like that, and then it kind of made, receiving like a box of skulls, and like I didn't know, how big a fox skull was, or like any of those kind of I think it was like a fox, a muskrat, and something else. And so you're like, you open up this box and you're looking at them, and it was just like this moment for me where I was just like so intrigued and interested like by it. And then I don't know, we would just kind of like, so I always use this, but like the first time I like came to Richmond, I moved here in 2013.
Okay. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, I like was walking around all of these different areas and places, and I was looking for a Rest in Pieces type shop, and it didn't exist.
Wasn't here.
It didn't exist, and I was like, this is such a cool city, like how is this not anything like that? And the best you could find was like a deer head at an antique store, and they were being like sketchy about it too.
Huh.
Selling that kind of stuff.
So let's put a pin on that for a second, and then
Yeah.
go back to you. So you moved here in 2013.
2013. Yep.
Where are you from, man? Originally,
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yep. So I lived in Connecticut my whole life. Lived in Massachusetts for a little bit as well.
Where in Connecticut?
And so my parents lived in East Granby, which is like way northern, almost Massachusetts. And then I went to school in New Britain.
Okay.
Yep. And I lived in Chicopee, Mass. For a
So
little bit,
this is a crazy question. I swear to God, I'm not making this band up, but a band from Hartford, Connecticut. It was a two-piece. It was a husband and a wife. They were called the Human Bone Science Industries something. I can't remember.
I'm surprised I don't know what that is.
Yeah, look that up, Claire. Use the projector really quick.
We never did that.
No, we didn't. I never even bought the cable. It was $10. Human Bone Science Industries band. Maybe look that up.
No, it was more of like what kind of music was it?
Oh my God, it was fucking insane. Like this dude, I believe the drummer's name was Robbie, and he was really good at making like theremins, Human Bone Bicycle Science Industries. Yes, all right. Human Bone Bicycle Science Industries.
How did it come to you without seeing the
It just came to me.
All right, yeah. Human Bone Bicycle Sciences Industries.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he
All right.
made like theremins and like all kinds of weird shit, and he had like gongs that were set up to like digital things, so there was like all noise, and then he just did the most brutal blast beats. I would call it a noise band almost, but with a live drum set, and then she would just do like crazy as fuck vocals. But yeah, weird band. I hope those two are doing well. Sorry for the side quest, but where you lived in Boston City?
No, I lived in Chicopee, which was
Chicopee.
like Western Massachusetts. but I played in like bands and stuff that were in Connecticut and in Massachusetts. So I was very much like, I'd always go between, cause like up there too, it was like no sweat to drive 2 hours to go hang out with your friends and stuff. Cause it wasn't like Richmond. You can just like go up the street or go 15 or 20 minutes. It was like, I was just used to driving
45.
2 hours, 2 hours to Massachusetts, 3 hours to Boston, New Haven, New York. Like, but that's the good thing about New England. You have like these 3 states that are just like, you can ping over and, hit a ton of different shows and stuff.
Yeah, we used to play Boston a lot. Every time that we did, though, we did one tour with Today Is the Day where we did like a bigger venue in Boston, and it fucking sucked. Like everyone in the crowd was just beating the shit out of each other, and it was violent and weird and awful. I don't understand that scene, dude. The Boston beatdown thing. Is he fucking anything up? The cats are back in the room with us again. Uni's napping though, so I don't think it's a war. When James Munoz was on, it was a bloody affair. What kind of bands were you in?
Just like punk and hardcore stuff.
Sweet.
Nothing like super notable or anything. But just a lot of fun when I was younger to kind of tour around. We got to do the United States a few times and Canada and like those kind of places, and it was a lot of fun. And then one time, I think it was like 2012 or something like that, I was touring in Canada and someone broke into our van and I got like everything stolen, like passport, wallet, like all of that stuff.
Ouch.
And then I was like, touring isn't fun anymore. And then I was like kind of done after that.
That never happened to us, thank goodness. But it happened to so many buddies. So Boston, how old are you? Okay. Do you remember a band called The Heuristic?
I don't.
They were a Boston band, and that was one of my favorite bands of all time. And it was my favorite fucking band to tour with when we were doing shows in those areas. And I don't know if you know about bands like this. I'm sure we all do, but they were a band that it was like the best live show that you've ever fucking seen. And they had like one recording and it was 3 songs. I know they at least had like 20 songs, but they never did a full length and they never did anything that like represented them correctly. And it was always like this push, like, please just get in the studio. Please get into a studio. Cats are fighting. And they just never did it. And it's such a goddamn shame, dude.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
There's a lot of bands like that, or they break up before they hit that like potential,
That's what happened to them.
Yeah.
That's what happened to them.
I was more with like, once I got into like the Boston stuff, like I really, really for a long time loved like all the Boston hardcore bands when like Bridge 9 was really huge like at the time, and like just all of those bands from that area I feel like that was like the scene I like looked up to. All the best bands, like Boston hardcore bands and stuff like that. And it's always awesome. But same with like Western Mass had a ton of good bands. Connecticut has, the ultimate, I don't know if y'all are hardcore people, but the ultimate hardcore trifecta, Death Threat, 100 Demons, and Hatebreed, I think are the top 3. Top 3s of Connecticut.
They all have bangers. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but we really got to turn that up. It's just brutally loud. I was like into hardcore when I was in my early teens, and then quickly like grew into like technical stuff. So you moved here in 2013 from Massachusetts.
Connecticut, I was in at the time.
Oh, Connecticut?
I bounced back and forth. Yep. Moved here. I worked. When I first moved here, I just got a job because I've just worked like so many different jobs in my life. I feel like that makes me well-rounded in like a weird way, that I just like have worked so many odd jobs and different things. When I first moved here, I got a job prior to moving here because that's always like a stressful thing, and I was installing bathroom partitions.
Okay.
Like a construction thing, working for this like shithead. I hated him. I installed all of the bathroom partitions at the University of Richmond like basketball center, whatever, Robbins Center. I don't know.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out U of R.
Enjoy
Ended
those
up
bathrooms.
working there a few years later. One of the worst jobs I ever had. They were terrible there. They're really rough to their employees there. I did my time at like Carytown Burgers and Fries. I've done, I put my years in there just like every good Richmonder has. And a bunch of different random things, restaurant work, like cooking work, again, just like everyone does here. And then when Rest in Pieces just kind of started, which was Rest in Pieces was just an Etsy page,
You just did it for me. Thank you. You just did it for me. Okay, so you started as an Etsy thing.
We started as just an Etsy online shop, and then what we found out is that local people were like buying from us, so we were like, okay, you can come to our apartment and pick things up. That wasn't like a weird thing. And then we were like, okay, so these people are coming to our apartment to pick things up. What if we had like a shelf of other things for sale at our apartment?
So then they see it.
So then they come over and they're like, oh, is that for sale? And pick other things. So we had this like little mini shop in our living room. And
smart.
just so people would come over and like, people would come over at the time and like spend like $100 or like $200. And we were like, oh my God, like
helpful.
I can't believe this, and then those like tattoo conventions are what really gave us that like push to open the storefront in the capital to open the storefront. Because at the time, when we started, no one was doing this. No one had tried, or as far as I know, had tried to open like an oddity shop or anything. And these tattoo artists and stuff were a lot of our first like clientele.
Hell yeah, they were.
Well. Yeah. And
sure.
They were so supportive and awesome. And, it was weird. First couple years, we were, one of the only oddity things vending. Maybe there'd be one other person who like had taxidermy and stuff.
Good on you for like taking the initiative, like recognizing that there wasn't something like this around. And you're right. It's crazy to think that this city went up until 2013 or 14 without something spooky cool like that.
It's weird because Richmond is so supportive of that and eclectic, and like you drive through Oregon Hill and everyone just has Halloween decorations up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it came very naturally. And not that there wasn't like a lot of pushback, which, happens when you do anything new and different. But at this point, we're pretty established.
Do you want to talk about the pushback? Was it
Sure, yeah. I mean, it was just when you're dealing in things that not everyone agrees with, there's always going to be some sort of pushback and stuff. So it was just like, people didn't agree with just selling, animal bones and parts in general, taxidermy. Before we even opened the first store, like this was probably literally like 30 minutes before we opened our first store.
30 minutes?
Yeah. Like, so we had a line of people down the block waiting to come in.
Holy moly.
Fucking awesome for us. And then someone had called the Department of Game on the store and had them like basically called and said we were doing like illegal stuff, came into the store, and they were like trying to grill us on things. And like I had my, like permits framed on the wall and all that kind of stuff. And there was just like, you can't sell snapping turtle shell and you can't sell this and like some other weird things. And I was like, okay. But kind of what they do is like they'll come in and like
what?
Yeah, try to like
who makes those rules?
So it's like, I mean, the laws regarding this stuff is why I feel like it wasn't done before. Once we got into it, I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. And I think that that's like the reason why no one had tried it before, because the laws used to be way more strict. You used to not be able to sell taxidermy at all in Virginia. That was like
until when?
2020.
What?
Isn't that wild? So like
2020?
2020. That's why like a lot of like shops and stuff still don't now, because they're like they're not up on the laws. They aren't reading new laws and everything that like come into action. But
so you sort of touched base on this, I think, when you said like, before you'd go into like certain random antique things and they'd have it and they'd be sketchy about it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So they would like be sketchy about selling me like a white-tailed deer head, which is like kind of a dime a dozen in Virginia. Like they're everywhere. You don't bat an eye when you see a deer head somewhere. But like the guy would be like, oh, I have them in the back because it like makes some people uncomfortable. I was like, what do you mean? It's Virginia. Like everyone has a deer head on their wall. Yeah. And I didn't realize at the time that it was just like
straight up illegal.
Because you couldn't. Yeah. And so the first thing they did was change, it's all in the wording of the laws. They changed the wording of the law so you could sell cervidae, and cervidae is basically antlered deer. So the first thing we could sell was like deer heads, moose, elk, caribou, and other species of deer, like black-tailed deer and like red stag and all those kind of things. And then like a year or two after that, they changed it to pretty much everything except for black bear. But this isn't, I'm also not saying this like I'm a lawyer. This is just our interpretation of the law.
No, yeah, sure.
I'm not the law.
My brain wants to go a million different directions. I used to work. There's this guy I worked with at a company in Shockoe Bottom, and I got the job like during COVID because I realized that the warehouse only had like 3 people. They needed a delivery driver. And they sold like carnival stuff. So I was like driving to petting zoos and theaters and popcorn. That I loved. But the warehouse manager there is one of the worst motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And he is obsessed with deer heads and hunting. And he'd send me a photo over the weekend of like, oh, I shot a bobcat. And I'm like, I'm not at all interested in like your hunting endeavors. So I would always just respond with like Trump and Epstein photos. And then he like wouldn't talk to me at work for like a week. But yeah, that motherfucker would straight up, if there was like roadkill, like a deer that got hit, he had a Sawzall and other tools.
Yeah.
And if it was like a fresh dead deer and like the head was salvageable, he would fucking take it and process it and mount it. And it's like, what are you getting at? That's completely psychotic. Like, you didn't even go through the discipline of like getting the kill. You're just some fucking lunatic that's just pulling your truck over on the side of like 64 or 95 and you're decapitating a recently expired animal and then you mount it. Like, how are you proud about that?
Yeah.
At all?
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay, sure.
I've done it.
All right, well, maybe we'll edit that out.
No, I think it's great because we like early on, it was like, how do we get animals? Granted, I don't hunt. I don't like kill anything for the point of selling it or killing it. But like, we would see a dead animal on the side of the road, and it was more so like dollar signs I was seeing because I was like, okay, this animal already died. I didn't have anything to do with it. It's just going to sit here and rot. Why don't I? Because I'm not doing taxidermy. I'm more interested in like the bones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Grab it, put it in my car, put it out back somewhere, let it finish decomposing.
Okay.
Then I have all these bones I can make things from.
That's a little bit different to me though. And like, at least
but it's still just as brutal as like I would keep gloves in like a trash bag in the back of my car.
Okay, well, I just talked so much shit on this, but now I feel bad. But
no,
maybe it's just because of my visceral hate towards this man.
I think it's funny, and like I don't take offense to any of this kind of stuff. I've been dealing with this for a very long time, and it's funny finding like the middle ground with people too, because like I don't think it's awesome that like people go out and kill like a bobcat or something like that.
Unnecessary.
But I also understand there are certain things like hunting deer is like necessary because it prevents like these like rampant diseases from running through and starvation and all of this stuff that like where the deer would just slowly die a horrible death anyways if the population wasn't being controlled.
Speaking of horrible death with deer, what is going on with all the shit that's like growing out of their faces lately? Like there's been so many deer lately that like have like weird mold issues and shit, and they're like growing like lumps, and
they always have. I feel like that's just like, I don't know, maybe it's like inbreeding or like weird things that are causing.
Like to the point where the poor things, like there's so many of them like tumorous and weird lumps that like their eyes are like sealed shut. Like
it could also be I don't know the exact cause of this, but chronic waste disease. It's like CW8.
Trigger warning, this is a super fun, cozy one for you and your family.
You should have expected this when you knew I was going to be on the podcast.
No. You're good.
But yeah, I think that might be called chronic waste disease too. So that's something that like the Department of Game literally sends out letters for, warning people not, if you see that, not to like mess with the deer or anything like that. And that's why they have like kind of rules on if you are selling deer parts and stuff, everything needs to be like fully cleaned before you're selling it, because I think it's like in the brain. I think that's where like it comes from.
I believe you're correct.
But I don't like really deal in a lot of like hunted stuff, or like, you know, I will, if someone hunts a deer and they want me to clean the skull for them, I'll do that, but I don't do like mounted heads or like that kind of
Was dealing with that stuff, is that something that you've just never had any sort of issue with? Were you ever squeamish
like hunting
about
or like processing
or finding,
I guess not. Like I don't really bat an eye at like things like that, or like weird smells, which is what gets a lot of is the smell. But it just doesn't affect me for some reason, because I mean, we also do like a huge part of Rest in Pieces is like that we process people's pets and stuff like that.
Oh,
which
wow.
is like it's a very big, almost like its
Oh,
own
yeah,
side
sub- a
business,
side,
like
yeah.
because and we've like built it up a little more over the past few years. It used to be kind of like an if you know service, and now it's like we have a whole list on our website of all the services we offer and all of that kind of stuff.
Dude, I didn't even fucking think about that aspect of it. That's really cool.
But that, it just like, it doesn't, if I didn't know the animal, you know, I don't have an attachment to it and I'm able to like process it and everything. But yeah, no like squeamishness or anything like that as far as that goes. I've never gone to like a morgue and seen like human corpses and stuff. I don't know if I would feel like differently if I was like processing a human versus like an animal or something like that. But I'd love to find that out.
So, Jesus.
Oh, God.
Dun dun dun. Two things like on that
Halloween episode.
for real. Two things on that kind of note. There's that species of like insect fly. It's like spotted. It looks really, really fucking beautiful, and it's in Virginia now, and you're supposed to kill it on site because
spotted lanternflies.
Yes,
Yep,
okay.
Invasive. Yep.
Just the other day, I saw one at my parents', and I felt bad about killing it. And then also, I had a partner. It was fucked up, dude. He was just chilling, and I killed it with an ashtray.
Can't believe you.
Hell yeah. No, you gotta kill him.
Yeah.
But then I had a partner, their cat unfortunately died, and its tail was similar to Uni's, like the orange one, just huge and so cool looking. And she really wanted to keep the tail, so I had to do that for her. And oh my God, I got like bolt cutters and cut the tail off the poor little lad. And then I buried him at my grandparents' property and made like this little shrine, and it was cool. But when I had to, because I had to stuff it with salt, so I had to take like pliers. I got so drunk and I was crying the whole time, and I had to rip,
dude.
I had to like rip like the bone and cartilage out of the tail, and then I had to sit there with rubber gloves and inch by inch. It's kind of like you know when you're like the shoelace, the string in your hoodie.
Oh.
And you have to like wedge it
Funny analogy.
inch by inch. I had to do that, but with salt, dude. And I'm sitting there like, oh, fucking cat, just crying. There's like Jim Beam minis all over the floor. I did a damn good job.
They still have the tail?
Yeah, it still holds up.
That's funny. We get a lot of requests for like cattail mummifications, and what we'll do is like I'll have the customer send me a photo of what the natural tail position was. So like some people, you know, their cat's tail curl or like whatever, and then I'll pose the tail like that, replicate it,
Whoa.
and then we'll mount it like under like a nice glass like dome or something.
Super
So they
sick.
can, like,
Cool.
have like the tail and stuff.
That's the first time that I caught wind of you guys, actually, and I noticed like the dome thing was Kenny Brown. We were talking about him on the sidewalk. R.I.P. Love you, dude. Miss you, dude. He always had your back, like early on. He really, really liked you guys, and I remember, I don't know if he bought it for the shop girl Becca or if Becca got it, but I remember you had this cool. I think it was you. It has to have been you. But it was like a two-headed, or like one of those rabbits where it's like a Siamese twin thing where it grows like 3 eyes, where it's almost like developing 2 faces. Do you remember that? But you had like a really nice dome thing over it, and I was like,
don't
wow,
remember that.
it's
It's possible.
beautifully done.
It's possible it was from us.
The way that you staged your stuff, though, it's like you guys do such a good work at it. Like it's such a good
try.
job.
I feel like it's, especially like nowadays, the thing within oddities and taxidermy and all that stuff is a little more like churn and burn. Like oddities is so popular now. Like when we started, it was like you guys are terrible, you're devil worshippers, you kill animals, like whatever all that stuff was. And I mean, we had Ross like create like a no animals harmed sign because
Sure
like
hand signs.
yeah, people just thought we were coming in like they were like, oh, so you hunted all these animals? And I was like, no, like if
People actually walked into the store and like accused
people
you of that?
still walk into the store.
Really?
And it's not like accusatory, it's more just like, oh, you hunted all of this? And I was like, I mean, if you think I have that kind of money to like go to Africa and like do this, like
Then you're right.
yeah, then you're right. I did.
Business is good.
Where was the first brick and how many have you had? You've only had 2, right? Yeah.
So the first one was it was 1 South Stafford Ave. So it was, do you remember Lady Nollins and F.W. Sullivan's?
Yeah.
So like F.W. Sullivan's was here, Lady Nollins was here, and we were like right here on South Stafford. It was this little 500 square foot
That's right.
spot right by like, you know, we'd get like people who'd walk over from like Lamplighter and stuff like that. You know, that was like our foot traffic.
Hell yeah, that's fucking killer.
It was great at the time. You know, we were there for about a year and a half or so. But it was like super low overhead. Like it was a great jumping off point. But we would have like drunk people coming in there all the time, and like there was just so many incidents. People would try to steal our packages and shit all the time because like that everyone was just drunk and in that area, and like nobody knew or cared who we were, you know. And I thought at first, you know, I was like, oh, the fan is like where we gotta be, and it just didn't work out there. But it allowed us to like save up money because it was such low overhead, you know?
Yeah, that's good. That storefront was the one that I've gone into a couple times. I feel really bad. I haven't been to the new one. When did you move to the new spot? Because it was a bike shop.
Yep. So we moved there in 2017.
Okay.
Yep. And that was lucky too. And that shout out to Bobby for that one.
Final conflict.
He knew the bike shop was like closing or whatever, and knew that we were looking to move into a bigger space.
And he was still over there.
Yep. And he hit us up, and then we, were able to basically get in there and get in touch with the landlord, and it was never like up for rent.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, we got in there. We already had like an established business. The landlord came in and saw our old store, and he was honestly great too at the time for taking a chance on us, because like trying to get a location in the beginning, we had like landlords and stuff like lie to us and be like, oh, it's already taken, and then we would see like a post a week because they just didn't want to rent to us, because they'd look at our website and be like, oh, they're selling a jar of eyeballs, like I don't want to like rent to them. But it was just like we've always been good tenants, like we pay our shit, you know. But it was just, it is what it is, you know. Some people don't like it, and we're so used to that at this point, you know.
Yeah, I could see like especially, I mean, who knows who the landlords are, but if it's like some older conservative,
some of these like
woman, like,
uppity weirdos. God. Yep.
There's gonna be orgies with dead animals. I don't know why my brain went there. You
were straight to orgy with animals.
Dead animals.
Dead animals. Sorry,
you were talking about when you first started buying skulls and stuff and getting them and discovering them. I got a gift for. I was in like this weird horror podcasts Facebook group thing, and there was a girl that was selling a bear skull, and I talked to her for a while, and we had like interacted on the Facebook group before, so she like gave me a way lower price than what she listed. I was like, this will be a cool gift. God damn it, that thing was fucking huge. Like you just don't think it's going to be that big until you like unveil it and you're like, holy smokes.
That was like what excited me early on, was because like, you know, you see, especially, so I keep using a fox as an example, but you see a fox's head, you don't realize how small that skull actually is, like once you take all the meat and stuff off.
And the fur and all of it. Yeah, you think it's like this like 6-inch thing, but it's really like this like 2.5-inch thing. It's this little tiny guy.
Small, yeah. But then there are other things where you're like, oh my God, this is fucking huge, like a hippo skull or something like that, you know, that weighs 70 pounds, and you're like holding it in your hands to try to take a photo, and you're like, oh my God, I can't even hold this, you know.
I recently saw, this is not related whatsoever, but hippo reminded me of a rhinoceros, and then I recently
That
watched
makes
this video on the POV channel on YouTube where this guy finds this spot somewhere in America, this like in the middle of nowhere, like in the desert, amongst like the old salt mountains or whatever, and he finds this little cave. He crawls into the cave and he's like, "Oh, by the way, this cave I'm in right now is the inside of a rhinoceros that was encapsulated with lava and then cooled with the water that through like a flood. So the water cooled the lava around the body of the rhino, and then it just it preserved the shape. So he was inside of the perfect shape of a rhinoceros.
That's so cool, actually.
Cave. It was wild.
That's
really fun. So
That sounds like a nice day of just ripping weed and taking side quests, buddy. How'd you end up there?
Inside of a rhinoceros.
No, I like to watch all the like you find. I found this spot on Google Earth and I went to investigate. Or what is this weird structure? Or I found these cool caves from a Mayan civilization.
So when
1,000 years ago.
Explaining this video, like to put into perspective in my brain, was it like bigger than this room? Smaller than this room that he was in?
I would say it was maybe
a rhino.
If you take maybe two
like
of these couches, like two of the couches, you can kind of flush it out. It was enough that he was fully in, and it was like he even said like it seemed to be smaller than the rhino of today. So it was like a smaller species at that point.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was as big as this room. I'm fucking stupid because it's a rhino. So like
a mammoth, yeah.
Dealing with all like the navigating the ebbs and flows of like legalities, things like that, people cracking down on you, all the weirdness. I'm sure that obviously, come to the back because it's illegal. I'm sure you've dealt with probably some sketchiness in the past. What's one of the weirder things where you've like tried to acquire something or sell something that you've dealt with where you're like, okay, have you ever backed out on something or like not gone through with it because the person's kind of strange?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in this business. What's fun is that you deal with so many characters.
Yeah,
I deal with people from all walks of life. I go to random people's houses all the time for like random things. A lot of times it's like, oh, my husband passed away and he was a hunter and I hate all of this.
Bro, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I thought they were like, will you buy my husband? He's dead. He's peaceful.
He's dead. Do you want him? He's in the freezer.
Oh my god.
No, we don't process people. But yeah, it's just there's been plenty of times when like it still happens to this day where I get offered illegal things, or someone walks into the store with like there's been times where I'm just like, you need to get out of the store with that. I do not want that. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that shit.
They found like in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a ton of things with like, I would say 90% of the time it's a bird. Bird law is like a big thing that a lot of people just like don't understand, and that's fine. It's not common knowledge, but like almost any bird you find, you can't touch it. You shouldn't touch it. Just leave it the fuck alone. If you find a bird, it's federally protected. You cannot do anything about it. Don't touch owls. Don't touch predatory birds. Like,
what's the driving factor? Is it like disease related?
It's disease.
It's probably, and just this, they protect, migratory birds are protected because I'm sure I don't know the full scope of it.
And there's something about whether or not they're like raptor or not. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia taught me a lot about bird law, but I think it took me down the wrong road.
Anytime we like make a post about bird law, the like Charlie quote is always in there too. But for birds you can fuck with, starlings and house sparrows, because they're an invasive species that came over from Europe, and they kill and fuck up like native birds' habitats.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so those like
really
you can it's open game on starlings and house sparrows. Those are like the two, and then there's obviously like domesticated like chickens and game birds and pheasants, like all of that stuff is like fine too.
This might give you like Claire might let out like because the story's depressing and gross, and we at least have at least one every episode, but I'm not gonna name the restaurant that
this is where the story started.
That's their sign right there, if you can see it, the fluorescent light coming in through my window. I'll tell you once we're off record.
Sure.
I don't know what these fucking guys were doing, but it's an all-you-can-eat buffet type thing, and this is a pretty weird area to have something like that in.
It is, yeah.
Because it's not like people are rolling in and paying parking and getting tickets for all you can eat. Anyway, so they were clearly making things that weren't selling, and they had like just surplus of bags of rice and why am I so stupid? It's because I took that shot. What goes chickpea and stuff like that, and it created an army of rats. And I mean, it was fucking brutal, dude. And there's all these drainage pipes coming out of that theater from that parking lot, and I was like bolting things in, and I felt like Charlie Day. Like I'd sit out there like drunk to make sure that the things worked, and you'd hear all the rats like coming in for the feast at like 10 p.m. at night, and then they can't get through, and they're all screaming because they're bottlenecking one another, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's fucking foul. But in the process of all of that, a very wise hawk showed up, because he's just dive bombing these motherfuckers.
Yep.
Left and right. But the rats got so bad, and then the sketchy shithead restaurant started throwing, because we were like, this is fucking insane. Like, we have to call someone on you if you don't try and fix it. They threw it. There it was.
I'm bracing myself.
They had to throw out like all this sketchy rat poison everywhere. And then I'm assuming Occam's razor on this is I'm assuming that the rats were eating the rat poison, and then the bird of prey was eating the poisoned rats.
No.
So he got really sick. I went out there one time and he just wasn't moving, but he was still perched. And I was like, oh my God, this thing's going to tear my eyes out. And I put on work gloves and like glasses and like a hoodie and like pulled it. And I went out there and got the fucker, and I put him in the back of my truck. I drove him down to the pipeline and walked him into like a nice wooded spot. And I'm like, I hope that he makes it. And then sure enough, like 4 days later, he's back. And then like a day after that, he had expired from the same bullshit. And my partner at the time was like, I gotta get his wings. And that's when I started looking that up. And I was like, you can get in a fuck ton of trouble if you're caught cutting the wings off of this thing. And I had no idea. And like, then she was driving around with them in her dashboard. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't know anyone that would be like, that's a peregrine falcon from this breed, and
that's the
that area. Here's a ticket. Like, I don't even know, but
that's the whole thing with that is like sure, there's only a few people who like might know and stuff like that, but it's just the wrong person sees that, and
that's a crazy fucking fine.
That's a federal offense. Yeah, that's a big deal. Like, predatory birds are like, I don't even want to look at one the wrong way sometimes.
Because it was like raptor and then something else when I was looking it up. But yeah, it's why this is kind of educational, this one. Why are they protected? And like, I'm sure you have to know a little bit more.
I don't know the like exact reason why they're protected, honestly. I don't know. I don't have like the answer for that off the top of my head.
I would wonder, I would guess that maybe it's either part, maybe 50-50 health, health reasons, maybe disease control, but maybe also if you put like a ban on messing with them altogether, then maybe that helps like prevent like hunters from going after just anything.
I mean, it also just protects.
Yeah, it's weird.
I feel like it just protects a lot of species in general that like, so like back in like, let's go back to like say like the Victorian era, okay? So like early 1900s, very early 1900s to like late 1800s, they would, so like there's this bird called the bird of paradise. Really, really beautiful bird that has these huge like tail plumages and stuff. The Victorians found out about that bird and murdered them almost to extinction so that they could wear their feathers on hats and like all that kind of stuff. Right.
Bling.
And I feel like it would almost be the same thing because these are big, beautiful birds, like, or think of like a bald eagle, and so they're like, of course, if you could, people would go out there and kill them, whether you agree with it or not, it would happen. And so they're just protected because otherwise they would just probably be extinct. Those birds aren't having like 20 baby birds every time. It's like two chicks, within a year. So there's only so much that bird can reproduce and replenish its population. So I feel like they would just get wiped out, if it wasn't federally protected.
That Dimitri Martin joke about birds. It's like when you have a pet bird, it's like, oh, look at that bird, it can fly. I think I'm going to change that.
Wait, that went over my head. No pun intended. How is that funny? What's funny about it?
Well, it's the concept of like pet birds, and I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful.
It's a beautiful bird. What if it was in a cage in my house?
Oh, I understand. Okay, yeah. Womp womp womp. The whole time in the back of my mind, I was just thinking about how bald eagles kind of look like Sergeant Slaughter, the old pro wrestler.
the patriotism.
Is that at Maymont that has like bald eagles? They have like some like rehabbed ones. They like can't fly, and they like have them like in like their little nature center there.
Yeah.
I think that's Maymont. Yeah.
I can't remember what they used to have, and I remember they had some really cool rehabbed bobcats too. Man, shout out Maymont. I haven't fucking been there in forever.
I haven't been there in a very long time.
And I've never been into the like aquatic.
Oh man, it's great.
I've never seen any of the marine stuff.
So
they have aquatic stuff there?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a whole little
I remember
area. There's like
I had no idea.
There's
dude, yeah, it's like it's $5.
$5.
It's you have to donate to get into that. Yeah, I just remember one day someone, like I'd gone there. I was house sitting for Barv, and he lived right by Maymont. And so I would hit that up like left and right. And I remember one day I was hanging out with people, and this girl was like, yeah, I got to see these like weird rehabbed otters, and they're like swimming again.
Otter aquarium, and they swim all around. And you can,
that's cool.
You're
I was like, what, dude?
Like, it's wide open and stuff. So yeah, it's great.
What are you talking about? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, it's a cool spot.
Yeah, it's cool. I'd rather go to, I guess, the zoo if I'm gonna like do something like that. But the zoo has its own ups and downs too, as any zoo does.
These aren't killing you all right now, are they?
No, I'm okay.
No, I don't.
Can I rip two at a time?
You can do 3
Whatever.
if you think you can.
Yeah.
So how's Oregon Hill in general? It treats you guys good. Seems
Oregon Hill is pretty good. It has its ups and downs. I feel like I love Oregon Hill. I feel like it's one of the last like cool neighborhoods in Richmond that doesn't have like a ton of restrictions and all that kind of stuff.
Also hasn't completely been like affected or given a facelift.
Yeah, it's cool. There are like, cause it's just this weird eclectic mix of like, it's like old heads who've been there for like their whole lives, college kids, random, literally the most fucking random ass businesses like us. Cobble Store is a great vintage shop. La Possum, the best restaurant we have in Richmond, and then Adara just opened. There's
Adara is that little tiny one in that corner.
Yeah, where Mama Zoo used to be.
Yep. Okay.
And then we have this woman, Marissa, who has like a little hair studio. And there are probably, I don't think those ones on West Cary count as like Oregon Hill, like 821 and Salvation and like those guys. I guess that's not really Oregon Hill, but
shout out Salvation and 821.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out.
And now they got Brave Captain over there.
Yep, I've eaten there a bunch of times. Great place.
I still haven't. I fucking suck. I'm a terrible friend to those guys.
I just like that like Oregon Hill is also a little bit of a food desert, and like that little like Mocha Mart or whatever. It's just like unless you want a Slim Jim, and even good luck getting that. Like
a $7 Slim Jim.
Yeah, they're not gonna have it. But
do they still have the pool tables in there?
Yeah, no.
Because I know that they're like doing shows there now too. What is going on over there?
It's like a big thing,
I wish they would just like stock food in
just
there.
Have
That'd
something.
be great.
It's
stoked.
only booze.
I'm stoked you guys
booze.
are doing shows, but like just stock like Slim Jims and like, some basic stuff for us. Yeah, to get in there.
Yeah, there's like bricked over in ice expired lean cuisines, and then like 48 feet of alcohol.
Yep.
And then 24 feet of vapes.
I mean, they know their target audience there. Like,
they sure fucking do.
Are coming in there for that, but that's why it's nice that Brave Captain was there, because that's a great spot to just like order to go. I can just literally walk there, grab a bunch of food for everybody, and like come back versus like getting some bullshit. I can actually get like a meal if I want to. Like,
shout out to Herbie and Josh.
Do you remember back when like this was probably like maybe 2000, somewhere between 2005 to 2009, there was like an old used music instrument shop and like repair shop.
What
right
year? What
over
years?
by like 821.
What years?
Like 2005 to 2009. There was like a small like vintage.
And I
like,
think it's where that video game
okay.
spot is.
Yeah,
now.
I cannot think of the name of it. That's
I
like you
can't
could take your
remember.
guitars there to get them set up. You can buy like a sweet old vintage guitar there. Like it was amazing. I wish if anyone remembers the name of that, hit us up and let us know.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either, but I'm pretty sure it's where Tech Exchange is now.
It was. I feel like it was either on the same strip as 821 or just the next one down.
Because I'm pretty sure that place saved our life one night when we were doing an old Jefferson plane crash show at, I guess it was Nancy Reagan at the time, and that was, like a mile away, and it saved us in a pinch. But yeah, I cannot remember that one. Do you need any more of these, or are you good?
But yeah, Oregon Hill in general is a cool neighborhood. I enjoy having the shop there. I think the shop will stay there. We like 3 years ago we bought the building, so we own like the whole building that the store is in right now. And it's cool. Like there are, I liked being there when Bobby was there. That was great because we did a couple like customer appreciation days together. And when we first moved in there, it was just really great because like, we have a somewhat similar customer base and also a very different customer base. So it was cool to like send people back and forth. I'd be like, yo, go to the record store. He'd be like, go check out the like weird shop behind us.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a definite like 50-50 almost, where it's like definitely 50% of both of y'all's are the same base, and then the other 50 would be interested if you brought it up. So it's just
absolutely,
it is really cool. You're just boomeranging and helping.
I think it was great, and just being friends, we would always just try to get customers like back and forth to each other, and did those things together, and it was cool. But I was very stoked for him. Like the new space is amazing, and he needed that in order to grow that business. So like watching that all come together was awesome, and I'm sure a very scary thing for Bobby to do, but like it's incredible, and everyone loves it, and hopefully they do twice as much business as they did prior to that. And that little spot was just so constricting for them, and although like Rest in Pieces can feel constricting sometimes, I feel like at home kind of in that location with the cemetery and stuff. I just feel like the neighborhood, everything, like the Halloween parade coming by, like it works, and it's great. There are issues though. The big issue is like
I'm about to bring one up if you're
go ahead. What's yours?
What if any heads up were you given when the city decided to take your whole fucking sidewalk?
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Away from you. Did you even know, or did you just show up like, oh?
I feel like that was right after you hit me up. Was when that video went like.
So there's so many people in this town that are incredible, and we get people that reach out to us. I also kind of have like a for lack of better expression, like a bucket list. I know that's something you say like when you die. There are people that I want, and like-minded individuals, and you two were always someone that's like, I gotta get around to them. But like the way that this podcast works is everyone's got a schedule, everyone's busy, the world's collapsing around us, everything's fucking batshit crazy, and we have our own problems too. And that was, you were always in the back of my mind, and I knew it was important, and I know you guys are important, and I love what we do for the town. But that was like the definitive, like, all right, I gotta send this message because that is crazy. So explain to Claire what happened, because
so I do feel like it got, because that video went, I don't know what you consider viral, or like it was very popular in Richmond. I think it's at this point is the most popular reel we've ever posted. But we had no notice about this whatsoever, other than we knew they were going around the neighborhood and they were redoing, I mean, everywhere I see it, like in the fan and stuff, redoing the like
plumbing.
No, so it's like the ADA ramps, the sidewalk ramps and stuff like that for like wheelchairs and stuff. Right.
Which is good.
And so, which is great. I have absolutely no problem with that, obviously. But to just explode the front of a business without any notice whatsoever was just like, was kind of insane for us. And like, so I just get a call and my employees is like, hey,
we're fucked.
They busted up the front of the building. Like, are we opening today? What's going what's going on?
You're like, what?
Yeah. And I get there and I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, what is this? Like,
I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to show him.
Oh, the video? Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's a really nice, spooky, cool, beautiful painting, like mural outside, but it's on a corner. It's on Laurel and whatever the sides.
Laurel and Albemarle.
And just, they tore the entire fucking thing up. Why can't I find this? Is it pinned?
It's, if you go to our reels, it's like, it's only like the third one or something.
Yep,
like
there
that.
it is.
Yeah,
oh my God, dude, you're.
It was pretty.
Hey guys, so they busted up the entire front of the store.
Dude, right at the front door.
Still open, regular hours, through all of this. You can get
Hey guys, you can't get in, and it's a death trap, but come hang out.
Hey guys, so they
Like the end.
Pretending to fall in the hole. Yeah, so they just also left that gutter hole completely open and uncovered, which you can't do. So I make a joke like I'm falling into it. And then, so like, all right, let me, hold on, let me back up. So I get to the store. There's the fucking hole in front of the store there. And I was like irritated. And I was like, so that was a one take video where I was like, point the camera at me. I'm just going to let people know we're open. And those are always the videos that get popular. When you try to make like a popular reel, no one cares. But when you're just pissed off and sarcastic, like everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And, so like I made that video and then like everyone was like, what the fuck? Like this is so Richmond, and just like leaving us this like little sliver of space where like customers could still walk through. Made the video, pretended to fall in the hole because they just left this huge gaping hole there.
Brutal.
I even went out there and talked to like the workers out there, even though like they're just doing their job. They don't have anything to do with that. You know, there's subcontractors. And I was like, hey, what is going on and when is this going to be done? Yeah. And he was just like, oh, I don't know. Like, we're just told to do this. And like, and I was like, okay, like I'm not going to press you guys. You aren't like, you have
nothing to do with it.
you have nothing to do with this. Went back inside. About an hour later, some dude from the city named Kevin, I don't know anything about him, but like that video got popular. People were tagging like the news and the RVA Gov or whatever. This dude comes in, he's like, hey, we're redoing like the sidewalks for like the ramps. And I was like,
Well, no shit.
yeah, I get that, but like, what if someone with a wheelchair wants to come into the store this weekend? What if anyone wants to come into the store this weekend?
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
there's just this little like area to get through, and he was just basically told me like, deal with it. Like, we're gonna do it like next week or something like that. And I was like,
Then why start it a week before?
yeah. And then it was just funny too, because like after I made that video, the next day, like the hole got covered up.
Oh, nice.
So like they came back because
Oh,
they were
the
like,
fucking
oh
piece
fuck,
of
like
wood?
yeah, they were like, oh well, we'll actually
left
get in
something
trouble
open,
for
yeah.
this.
This is
Yeah, like the
ridiculous.
whole, I should have just like hurt myself on purpose, you know? But yeah, and then this idiot also makes this like racist remark to me, and he was like,
What?
he was like, oh well, the people out there working like don't speak English anyways, so like they wouldn't have been able to like warn you about it. And I was like, that's funny because I talked to them and he spoke perfect English, so like that's crazy of you to just assume that. And
that's a particular stance.
Yeah.
It's the egg is on your face
yep, and then
because I'm assuming that someone
doesn't speak English because of their ethnicity, yeah, was a hot take from him. So then I was like, okay, the city just said deal with it, you know, and it just sucked because like even now that it's fixed, we have like a ramp we put out. So like we have a sign on the door that says like, hey, if you have a wheelchair, like whatever, call the store and we'll bring out a ramp for you so you can come up, because the corner is like a thing, but they did it so now it's like the corner of our building and then a second lip and then the sidewalk.
now it's an incline.
So now it's like literally like almost impossible for someone with a wheelchair to like wheel around and get into the store. So we have to like get a new ramp thing figured out. But yeah, it was just it.
You guys should have like had like a, I don't know why I want to say sweepstakes, but you guys should have had like a free giveaway where you like hid stuff at the bottom of that pit and just had VCU kids falling and breaking bones trying to get like a rabbit.
People were being real funny in the comments about it, and like it was I mean, it was just like basically turned into a big publicity thing for us, because then the next day the news hits us up like about it, and I was like, I'm a person who I'm just like, all right, I'll just take this as far as it's gonna go, you know.
Sure,
like I don't think I need to be on the news about this. I think it's funny, but like the news hit us up, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll talk on the news about this.
CBS?
Like I'll talk shit about the city. And they were like really cool about it too, and did like a little thing, and it's just so interesting, like. And I said this in the news thing, like a city that pretends like it cares so much about small businesses and like small businesses and the people here are what like make the city like so awesome and fun to like be in and stuff like that.
For sure.
And they're just like, yeah, well, fuck you. You know, like they don't care. I mean, even when you look at situations like, what's that? Was it like Philly Vegan? I don't know if you remember all this stuff with them like a year ago where they had this, a city employee told them. I don't know where it is. I think it's in the South Side.
Oh, okay.
So it's called Philly Vegan, and they had a thing where like they were applying for all their stuff. A city employee told them like you don't have to charge like meals tax or something because you're takeout, and so they didn't. And then like months later, the city was like, "Oh, you owe $40,000 because you weren't charging meal tax," and they were like, "Well, no, your city employee told us that," and they were like, "Well, they were wrong."
Oh,
and it's just like, what do you? So, like, I mean, that turned into a whole thing. I don't know the outcome of that. Like, I hope they got all that, like, expunged and, like, you know, went away. But that was, like, a battle for, like, a year where they had to, like, team up with other businesses.
$40,000.
It was, yeah, it was, like...
small business.
Yeah, if you want to, like, you can... I'm sure it's still all on their Instagram page. But I was watching that, and I was like, oh, my God. I can't believe if that happened to me, you know? And so now they have to pay, like, lawyer fees and like all of this stuff and try to like get all it taken care of. Yeah, but it was just like, it's a shit show with stuff like that, and it's just like, yo, you told me that this was correct. If I can't like stand by what the city is telling me, what's the point, you know? And I mean, on top, you know, the city can't provide us with clean water. The city, like I sit here all day and talk about that stuff. You know,
mean,
like
we can. So like you're really a great guest because you are segueing into things that I'm thinking about on your own. With that being said, like 2013, it's your second brick and mortar. You're successful. They kind of fucked you up there with that sidewalk thing. Like, what do you think about all of the change? And it's like, you know, you look at a lot of photos you're tagged in, and it's always people posing. They're always excited to be at your spot. And like, you can sort of see where it's like it is a tourist attraction, man.
Absolutely.
It's like people come through and your shop will be tagged, Vinyl Conflict will be tagged, a banger fucking restaurant. It's like people really love it here, and there's a reason, because there's a lot of people here doing really good, unique things, and it attracts people here. And I almost feel like the city, well, I don't almost feel, the city promotes that in a way like, look at all these great things that we have, come here, but then all the people that are creating that and doing those great things and making this town and city so unique are sort of being forced out because of all the constant, like, okay, it's new loft apartments and this, that, and the other. We have a baseball stadium that no one asked for that's coming up. And like,
yeah,
there's a weird thing about that because I deliver to them. I deliver freight to construction sites. But there's a loft apartment complex right across the street from where the new one's being built. And to my knowledge, from what I can understand, one of the selling points is you have this beautiful view of this place. And then they went back on that agreement, and now they're building a massive parking garage blocking the view. So like $40,000 now. It's like they tell you these things and then they completely negate them, and then you're fucked and you're just like left there. So what do you think about what's happening? What do you think about VCU? What do you think about like just It's just loft.
Real quick, where
Yes.
is what's going on with the base? Like, is
They're ripping the old one down.
right? So is the new one gonna pretty much be in that same area, or is
It's you
across
could
the
you could
street,
hit a
right?
baseball to the new one.
okay?
I deliver to it every morning.
I mean, is like the old one? Is that area going to be part of the new one?
No, they're tearing that down and they're building a massive parking garage / sort of housing type thing, and I think it's to house the traveling teams. I think that there will be potential to rent, but like I said, that the last new loft apartment complex was guaranteed that view, and now all that's going to be compromised because someone made an extra $1 billion hands on two sides that have never met type of this is going to be worth it for us.
Oh man, those the building up on coming down like into Scott's Addition from the baseball stadium, like those condos
Scott's
that are
Addition
coming,
it has gotten so built up.
But also,
It's
like,
wild.
You pass it on the way here between mile marker 78 and 76 on I-95 southbound coming into the town. Like, they gutted like the old ABC factory and like all that other stuff. What the fuck are they building there, dog?
Well, the build up between like Insu Boca and Boulevard Burgers, like the stuff that's happening even just right there, it's just like it's blasted up.
I feel like that's just everywhere across the city now, though, because Richmond has become like a hot spot for like living and moving to and all of that stuff. It's just apartment complexes and condos and all of that shit are going up literally anywhere any contractor can grab a hold of it and put it up, you know? Like it's insane. Even like the I have a friend who lives at the like Cary Court Apartments, which is that like big apartment complex that's right up the street from like like past like TBTL Gaio and the Clothes Rack, like up the street from that. But they just like ripped out a whole parking lot, like went into the ground, and I'm assuming they're gonna build parking down there, I'd hope. And more apartments are gonna go up. Like it's just
They're not gonna fucking build parking.
I feel like they have to in that area. Like I believe you, but like there's gotta be some sort of mandate on it because it's like so insane.
Typically what happens now when things like that happen, things of that nature happen, like just what happened outside of the Lombardi Kroger, that huge thing that's like, you know, kind of next to the Lowe's. And again, shout out Francine, glad you're back, dude. They will build one floor of underground parking and it's 80 spots and it's a free-for-all. And it's not really like
so they
policed.
say they can have parking.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
So that's there, but it's also like, you know, someone's got a pass and they leave some shit car there for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like you never,
do whatever they want.
you don't have I guess you don't have a designated spot.
Yep.
Is what I'm saying. So it's just sort of like, I'll get home at 1:30 in the morning and I don't even know if I can fucking park at my place. That's $1,700 a month with shitty Wi-Fi.
Yep.
It's such a weird thing. And I'm not trying to talk shit on the city and I'm not trying to like attack the city, but one of the reasons I personally started this whole thing, and it's working because people are interested, and it's people like you, it's people like Bobby, it's people like Lady E. Like I want to document the people that have been here, and I don't want to like lambast or like fucking head kick like what's happening. I don't want to like be anti-Richmond because I love Richmond. I mean, look at where I'm at. I'm in this weird spot. Like this is a crazy fucking place we're in, and I'm very thankful for it. But it's just getting, the more you squeeze, the more juice you get. And Mike just said that a few weeks ago. We have the Night Owl is the next episode that drops, and like we kind of touch base on this stuff, and yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I agree with the like squeezing. It's just like, I mean, even since, you know, I'm not an original like native here or anything. Like I said, I moved here in 2013, so I've been here for 13 years now. And
But you've been doing something important.
Sure, yeah, I've been doing stuff, but it's been funny seeing and realizing that, you know, and I think that was a big growing up moment for me. From like, it's like when RIP started, like I was 23, 24 years old, and was just kind of like starry-eyed and thought everything was awesome and fun and like all of that shit. And like as I've gotten older, like really realized how little anyone in like politics or the city, like especially in general, like just does not give a shit. You know, it's everything is money. It's all people lining their own pockets, and it just feels like it just feels like a slap in the face a lot of times, like the way that the city treats the people that make the city awesome. That's like just been a big thing. And I think that's important to talk about. And it's not a diss, it's just a collective. No, it's just disappointing because I agree with you that Richmond is awesome. I love living in Richmond. I hope to live here for the rest of my life. It's a fun city, cool people. You know, I like that everybody knows everybody, like kind of thing here. And that was a funny thing when I first moved here, is that like, when you first move to the city, it's like when you first move to the city and no one knows who you are, like you might get like pressed at a show, or you might get like just like, you know, it's a weird. I feel like people remember like the first year or so they like moved to Richmond because like no one knows who you are. And as soon as you get something attached to your name, then you become like a character within Richmond, you know? It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like, I feel like everyone's, you know, it's like, oh, Bobby from Vinyl Conflict, or this person from this band, or this person from this workplace, you know? And and then you're a Richmond character, you know? And then you're in with everyone else, and people know who you are because they're like, oh, that guy from that thing.
Dude, I'm so guilty of like, I literally, like, if you look at 60% of my contacts on my phone, it's person's first name and then their band, or the person's first name and then their business.
That's affiliation.
It's like, I don't know your last name, and I don't ever care to.
Yeah,
but
it's just your affiliation.
When I was bartending, it would be like if like the person and their drink. Like I would, I could remember. I remember what their drink was before I would remember the name. Like I could have your whiskey sour with 2, cherries in it or whatever. But I forget that your name is Steve, not Alfonso.
It's not Jack and Coke 3000.
But I just think that's like a funny thing with like moving here, and then you get something attached to you, and it's like, okay, oh, that's the barber. Yeah, that's totally. You know, when you first move here, it's just like,
the fuck is this guy?
What's that guy?
That guy?
What's his thing? You know. But it was fun because you get that anonymity that you don't get once you've been here for like a while, because it is like a big little city, you know, and a lot of people. I don't know. It's like Richmond. I feel like I have so many like acquaintances, you know, like people who like, I don't hang out with you on the weekend, but like if I see you out, I'm gonna say hello.
And it's gonna be pleasant.
It's gonna be fucking pleasant.
And like yeah, it's like I did door everywhere, and a lot of the times I was manning where he was bartending, and feel really bad. Like it's kind of like in one ear, out the other. So you do have to make note of those things and how to remember certain people, because there's so many fucking cool people here, and I'm always down. Like I've never been afraid to go out to eat by myself, or go to a movie by myself, or go to a show by myself, because I know that it's going to be a good time no matter what, because the city's so badass and there's so many cool, weird characters, and like I can just go somewhere and just places to go in general. Like again, growing up in Connecticut, it was like, all right, well, I can go eat at fucking Chili's, and I can go to the mall, and that's it. Like there wasn't options like this. The idea of community was something like I also learned when I moved to Richmond, because like Connecticut, things are all spread apart. The only community like I had was like within whatever music scene I was like a part of. But like here, it's like you have a local community of people that like, I mean, especially in Richmond, that are like very much working towards like common goals and stuff like that. And it's so fucking cool to see things in Richmond, like something I always bring, like RVA community fridges. I think that's fucking one of the coolest things in Richmond. I just messaged them, and I really hope you guys or any of y'all come on. I really want that episode, but that is beautiful. That's just like such like that concept in general, and then on top of that people are receptive to that concept, and like seeing businesses like restaurants like pack up extra things at the end of the night and like bring them to a community fridge, and like people putting produce, and it's just like, if you're hard off, you just go to one of these fridges, open it up, and grab whatever you need.
Like that's such a unique, cool concept that like there are other cities that do things like that, but like that's
Sure.
such a Richmond thing. And then like Mad RVA and like having like a free store and like that shit it's so cool, and that's what makes Richmond so awesome. You know, it's just like these little things. People are like so invested in the community here and like keeping each other safe and all that kind of stuff. I really like that part of it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
beautiful.
Well said.
Yeah,
Well, that was a perfect. With that all being said, I mean, you are part of that too, and so thank you for being you. And
sure.
thanks for what is he doing?
Oh, jeez.
Thank you so much for responding quickly and being stoked on doing this. Thank you for being you. Thank your business partner for you guys hold it down and kill it. I'm
Is
really
there-
stoked that you're on this. Oh yeah.
Is there anything upcoming?
you wanna
or
promote?
anything you want to promote? Anything you want to kind of like throw out?
Not anything I don't know, like this, I don't know when this will come out, but like now,
Probably 3 weeks.
yeah, now this is the season. We're in spooky season right now.
Fuck yeah. It's
You
gotta
haven't
be
ever been to
before.
the store, now's the time to come by. No excuse.
Yeah, for real.
You're
right, you're right.
Yeah, we owe
You're right.
we owe a visit.
I always just say like everybody wants to go to like museums and stuff like that. It's just like a fun thing to do. Even if you don't buy anything, come into the store. Like you're gonna see, I guarantee you, an animal you've never heard of. You're gonna learn things about animals you've never heard of. Probably learn a little bit about laws here and just see cool things. That's why the store exists. Is just a cool place for people to come and buy weird things you can't buy anywhere else in Virginia. See weird things, learn something in like, you know, an inclusive and welcoming environment. Because the other thing too, I feel like when people meet me or like, you know, I teach like all the entomology pinning classes at the store, like they
Yeah,
do
I've noticed
that.
So cool.
And
Is that once a month or
depends. It can be usually like 2 a month or so.
Okay.
I'll try to do them, different
Very cool.
insects and stuff. And they think that like either my employees or us at the shop or whatever are gonna like cool guy them or something like that. And that's just like the opposite of everything that we stand for. Like if you're coming into the store, like we'll talk to you about whatever. Like we're happy to share our knowledge with you. And it's just like I don't know, it's meant to be a fun, informative thing. And like natural history and like the natural world is so exciting. And when you can appreciate all the things around you, like when you can see a butterfly or a plant and know what it is, like suddenly you're excited about that thing. And like I think that's what's so cool about the store, and that like what we do in general is just being excited about the world around you is going to make you a wholeheartedly happier person in general. You know, when you're not just like waiting for the next thing on your phone you think is cool, the next TV show to think is cool, go outside and go for a hike and be like, oh fuck, I saw a tiger swallowtail for the first time. Like that shit excites me, you know, and that's what's cool. And like I feel like that's the energy we give off when people come into the stores. Like we're excited about the natural world and weird things.
what a fucking beautiful way to
Wonderful.
land the plane.
Yeah, man.
What the hell?
Just killed it.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
good.
That shit's all. It's awesome. Just if you appreciate what's around you, you know, you're gonna be a happier person and enjoy your life a lot more too, and learn about, you know, what's the native Virginia stuff. You know, it's cool. Learning is cool.
Learning
It is
is
very
cool.
So Justin, rest in pieces. We'd never got the address. I'm sorry.
349 South Laurel Street, Richmond, Virginia, just 1 block from Hollywood Cemetery.
Stop fucking up, y'all. Go visit this person.
Yeah,
and
it's
go
spooky
visit-
season. Make it happen.
It's spooky season.
Cool, dude. Thank you.
Yeah,
Of
thanks so
course.
much.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.